Holy cow. Yeah. We had a we had a bunch of storms come through. That's not, or I should say one superstorm come through. So that was a rocky night. Oh, it was the worst kind of storm too, because the heavy storm front hit us, and then instead of continuing southeast, the whole storm shifted and went east, so we just ran along the entire length of it. It's like fuck, fuck. Apparently there's a bunch more flooding in the state, so I'm hoping people are okay. We got lucky here because we're not in, like, we're in a little bit of a divot, but our divot is then up above, so it's hard for us to flood. Not impossible. I've seen it, but it's harder. It's not like, you know, we're not very flood prone, but I have seen us flood before. But when that happened, it was like, you know, the water was 2 inches deep. So it took some fucking effort. Oh, I remember I was working at the pizzeria at the time. Open up the door and the water's up to the front door. I'm like, oh, hi. Yeah, we've never had. I don't know if it's possible for us to get up to where we're on our roofs and stuff. But there are other people in the state where they were. And that's why they're like sending out all the warnings. They're like, this is not good for going back through. You guys already had flooding, you know, a lot of damage and injuries, stuff like that. Now we got another supercell coming through, and it's going right to you. So hopefully everyone over there is okay. All right. Well, some plans got shifted around. I was gonna grab one of the games. Likely not gonna be the repair simulator, low budget repairs. But I was thinking about picking up the Agent 64 and having us do that today. Yeah, I can't afford packs. I got some of the money today. We're 50 shy, so we'll see what's up. Oh my god, I didn't realize Sinking City 2 is coming out this soon. Hang on, let's take a peek at it, shall we? Also, hey, Prosecutor Valentine. Take a peep. I never trust rock paper shotgun. So, but again, I don't want one to rival Resident Evil and Silent Hill. Like, what do you mean? If Singing City 2 is more like Singing City 1, I'll be happy. I don't want it to be like fucking goofy and weird. I want it to lean into its detective mechanics and everything.
You did it, Cal. It's over.
Again, another very disreputable place. That's not a good sign. Oh my god. That's not a good sign at all. I don't want to see Games Radar's name pop up. Oh, one of the fucking laughing stocks journals. I mean, I guess all game journalists are kind of dog shit, but yeah. Already, not pleased with two of the people talking about it. There's the hat trick. Fuck me, okay. I don't know Game Reactor. Okay, so there's one at least neutral on because I don't know them. Mitsu. Okay. Cute name, but no. Like, I don't need my guns to have skins, so. That was weird to not show off the Tommy more, but okay. Oh, joy, those guys are back.
Stay back!
No, Rob Park, this would be more like AA with pre-order stuff. You know why? Haven't you seen what the new pre-order trend in AAA games is? Locking entire vendors and stores and mechanics behind pre-orders now. And then, again, inoffensive pre-orders, they're skins, whatever. I don't want to deal with it. I don't like that the Manor case was there. I understand that they're, you know, this is an indie team or like a smaller team, right? Yeah, they're self-publishing this one this time. Because remember what happened with Sing City 1 and the fucking fiasco that went through. Oh, yeah, you haven't seen Grand Theft Auto 6? That's the new trend. Locking full-on stores and mechanics and everything behind pre-orders. Alright. Check that out, the trailer. Yeah, but they were reasonably like, again, this is just pre-order, right? And at least that's if you're gonna get the game anyways. Like if you have the purpose of reviewing it, or you're gonna play it no matter what, right? You shouldn't pre-order unless you're going to do it regardless. You've already written that money off. Like don't complain later. Don't complain later like I shouldn't have pre-ordered it. It's like, no, you shouldn't have. Like if you have any reason not to pre-order a thing, don't pre-order it. Remember that even if they weren't laying off activists, they'd still be laying off staff regardless of success. True, 100% true. So the thing I'm curious how they're gonna explain. I'll talk about it in a second. I'm curious how they're gonna explain. Is it the same character?
Oh, my hero. You'd really save little old me.
Oh, I didn't know there was a Steam demo. Huh, that's funny. That's what it doesn't. No, it's mixed on if I think it's the same guy or not. Because he has similarities, but he doesn't look the same. There's absolutely got to be a spot where we can look at him, right? Okay. I admit it, I shouldn't have been jumping around all the place. Let me see if I can find him. Oh, wait, here we go. Okay, so this guy versus... Oh, wow, that's way too close. Why are you so zoomed in? What the fuck? Why was that so zoomed in? Yeah. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, the eye collar's different. Clothing's different. And I need to see, I can't tell at this angle, but we need to see his eyebrow. Well, again, I don't know if the eyebrow scar is actually there, because it's just on where the edge of it would be seen here. So, see if we can see the other part of his face better. This splits it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's not the same guy. Unless they say, like, if you did the the sacrifice route. As like, because that's the thing I was going to question. Is like, and then I had to stop myself. Like, what if you did the sacrifice route? Right? So your character wouldn't be there. But what if they're saying, like, what if you get spit back out of something? Like, and it's kind of like rejuvenated you or something, right? Did you do the bad ending and die, but it wasn't world ending? No, the one where you die saves the world. But that's what I mean. Like, I would need to know more about this if they want this to be the same character. You know what I mean? I guess we can look up some facts here. Hold on, let's look up some stuff. Sinking City. So Charles Reed was Sinking City 1. Nope, different person. Calvin Rafferty. Calvin Rafferty is his name. Cool. So they did make sure that it's not the same character. Good. Good. Yeah. Oh wait, you might have been looking it up too while I was looking it up. Yeah. No. So totally new guy. Same abilities though. So makes you wonder if, like, is this going to be another one where he's going to have to bite the bullet to seal things? I will say they are definitely doing a lot more of emphasis on the combat, and the combat don't look great. Like here in Sinking City 2, the combat just looks kind of mediocre. It looks like it's passable. This is combat that exists, right? Hopefully, I don't know why they're not showing us as much of the detective stuff. I hope they didn't get rid of the detective stuff. You know what I mean? I hope we didn't lose out on the like the mechanical stuff that I actually enjoyed the most in Sinking City 1. Again, we'll see. This is the only one for it. This was an early screenshot, too. I don't know. I'm, fingers crossed, everybody, but who knows what'll happen. Yeah, this coming Friday, I wanted to do War Dogs. They had an interesting video. The developers had an interesting video for War Dogs, an interesting strategy for trying to pitch the game, which was to basically do the opposite and kind of like, here are 10 reasons not to do it. And I actually appreciated that they're like, hey, this is not going to be not going to be a live servicey game through early access. Early access is for, squashing bugs, making sure all the performance runs well. We have the content we have. We're not going to be like dumping content every month or anything into it. It's going to be a lot of fucking tinkering and fixes and balancing and shit. Like it's what the early access period's for. Ugh. Let's do that. Maybe we'll do that. If you guys hadn't seen it before, let's talk about that. Come over here. Whoop. Whoop. Shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it. Shoot it. Grab it. Thank you.
Everyone is asking, when is the release date?
God damn it, Joe. Give us the release date.
So, one thing I like about this, the reason I was interested in War Dogs before was that it rewarded more of the behind-the-scenes gameplay, too. What I mean by that is getting people to run Logi, for example, in Squad. You'll have some people that will do it, but it's hard to like get a consistent vibe of like, all right, who wants to run Logi? Who wants to be the truck bitch? Right? Who wants to be our helicopter pilot, just constantly ferrying people into the battle? Like, in a meta sense, you're helping your team win. Right? You're helping deliver supplies so we can set up strong points that the enemy has to siege each time, so the enemy's losing more and more tickets. We're more easily defending areas. You're getting our guys back into the fight quicker. You're getting more habs set up so we can respawn towards the front line faster. Like, there's a logic to it in that sense that you're helping win. War Dogs does it differently where, hey, not only are you helping us win, but we're giving you money. You're getting rewarded actively for engaging in logistics runs, for ferrying people to the front lines and stuff. Like when you go deliver supplies, you'll get cash for it. And the people you deliver the supplies to can actually get a button prompt. Like, the kick votes in TF2. Like F1 for this, F2 for no, sort of thing. And if you hit F1, you could tip the person and send them $5. Or 15 or 20. Like, it'll give you a tip thing. Be like, hey, do you want to tip the pilot? So you actually have a chance to get bonus from people if you're like, hey, this dude's an ace pilot, right? This dude's one of those ones, flies the nap of the earth, goes between the buildings. He got us into the fight, literally, like put us right on the point. And got out. So you get a bonus for people disembarking from, like, your helicopter, as example. You get like, you know, passenger disembarked. And then it will wait. Tick, 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 tick. And if the person is still alive after like 20 seconds or so, it'll say passenger survival bonus. And you get paid for that as well. So you have an actual legitimate reason to want to be the person who's the driver or the pilot. Don't tell the Ukrainian army they'll add tipping to logistics. But see, the whole thing with this is, like, again, you're a PMC, right? You're a merc. You're in it for the cash. And the cash is universally shared, by the way. So you can play on community servers, or you can play on the main servers, and you have a universal cash, like, reserved for yourself that carries over between all the different servers. Because you're the one that decides, hey, I want to slap down $50,000 to buy a tank, or I want to slap down $20,000 to buy a helicopter, sort of thing. But again, you're constantly getting rewarded all throughout it for money coming in for everything you do. And they said, like, yeah, we're okay with the community servers adding to the overall economy of your war funds. Like, we're fine with that. Until the server starts going beyond the bounds, like if they start editing things too much. There is a grace window they have for the servers. Where it's like, if you edit everything within these bounds, then your funds from this server will count towards your global war fund. But if you take it to the extreme, like if you push it out of those bounds, then your server gets delisted from the global economy. So you can't fuck with the global economy itself.
I don't know when. We didn't get any freaking...
Oh, another thing. Destructible, like, buildings and environments. It's really nice to have it. The other thing that's really good is their stance is 60 FPS is the minimum. Not 30, 60. 60 FPS is the bare minimum. And it has to go up from there. Yeah. Again, I hope they have the Toyota Hilux in there. It is a workhorse of PMC groups.
Or anything.
No specific date yet, but they did say this year, so I'm guessing it's going to be soon.
What if they didn't put a release date because they actually plan on releasing it really soon?
Because they plan on releasing really soon, September 10th. There is the playtest here on the 23rd, which will be the final playtest before early access launch.
That's it, it's now official. War Dogs is releasing into Steam Early Access next month, on the 10th of September. Steam pre-orders for War Dogs are live right now.
The other thing about this that I kind of like is that the game is designed to funnel everybody into one combat zone, right? You're all trying to go for the same objective. It is a three-way fight. So you don't have, like, one army can dominate another army and there's nothing they can do about it. No. You have 3 fronts at all times. You have 3 different PMC groups constantly battling for these objectives. And like I said, it's designed to funnel you in because the objective is a singular focus. Once you take that objective, the next objective is a singular focus. Ooh. So the whole thing is designed to funnel people into this fight, right? You're designed to be pulled into the conflict.
Ordering will guarantee you access into our upcoming closed beta ahead of release, allowing anyone who's interested in the game to try it out and refund the game if you don't like it. We fully get opening pre-orders for an early access game is kind of out of left field. So for context, opening pre-orders now helps us more accurately predict how many players and servers we need to be running in each region, which will massively help ensure stability at launch. After our insane response to our closed alpha weekend, we just thought, why not? Our time is now. We just want to remind everyone that you can refund pre-orders and that we're more than okay with that.
Oh,
it's the
look what I
best
see.
way to open early access.
Did you see what I see? Andy Boy Scout, did you see what I see?
That you can refund pre-orders and that we're more than okay with that, as it's the best way to open early access to the game for players who most want it without fully opening the floodgates. However, before the hype train gets out of control, we want to do something most AAA marketing teams would tell their dev teams to never do. Give you 10 legitimate reasons why you should not.
What I like about this, so another thing I liked about this trailer, right? What I liked about this trailer was when they say 10 legitimate reasons, they meant it. You know what I mean? It wasn't that whole like, oh, if you can't handle like the smoke, that's not what they were saying. You know how some of those like, oh, we're gonna give you 3 reasons why not to get it. You know, you're a loser. You know, oh, you just don't like fun and stuff like that. No, here they actually went through, like, here are some actual reasons why you might not want to pick this up for early access. Well, that might be only one of them. Again, they said they had, like, what, 70 vehicles in the game? It's something like that. Or maybe that's weapons, and they had, like, 40 vehicles.
By War Dogs. Reason number 1 is the lack of content and the speed at which we deliver it. Our focus has been on core gameplay and performance. From a business standpoint, we invested most of our money into those things, leaving less for content and the shiny things that actually sell games. What I'm saying is War Dogs has a content problem. We are launching with 37 weapons,
37 weapons,
21 vehicles,
21 vehicles.
and 3 maps with each of those.
All right, so 37 weapons, 21 vehicles. Okay.
Maps having 3 variations within them. But after launch into early access next month, we'll be focusing on bug fixes, keeping the devs on hand to react to major feedback points, and a new map. But beyond that, in order to hit the 1.0 release with our meta game and truly deliver on our vision for War Dogs as a title that can go the distance, we need to make sure that our devs are focused on exactly that. As a result, players should not expect regular content drops. We will update the game regularly, but the focus will be on balancing and fixing issues, just as early access was intended for. We want to make...
Yeah, so again, their first point is it's early access, right? And it's the original version of what early access was. This is the heavy testing phase, right? They've already had tests, but this is now when they're going to stress test their stuff. They need to see if everything holds up well, if their global economy works, what bugs there are there exploits, like major exploits to fuck over the economy? Like, there's all kinds of stuff that they now need to do that takes precedence over, oh, well, they didn't add a new truck in, or they didn't add a new gun in, right? So, like I said, I appreciate this list for actually having legitimate reasons, rather than just trying to be like, you're a casual. Don't pick up our game if you're a casual gamer. Ours is only for the hardcore, the most intense, the one who wants the action-packed drive. You know, it's literally just more hype and fluff. This is actual 10 reasons. Don't do it for 10 reasons.
Make sure your expectations are set here before you purchase. You shouldn't expect monthly map updates or new vehicles being added. That's the plan for after 1.0. For now, we want to focus on building the metagame and making the improvements we identify throughout early access. And as a result, we're going to price it accordingly.
Yeah, so here's the pricing.
War Dogs is
breakdown.
not cheap to make, and at full release, War Dogs will cost $59.99. But
That's
we
full
haven't
release.
delivered the meta game yet. If the game doesn't have all the features, we can't charge full price, so we're cutting it to $49.99.
Okay. Again, no metagame, so they're taking $10 off.
But with the lack of content in year one of War Dogs, we can't fairly justify that either, so we're cutting it to $39.99.
So they've already said it there. They've hinted at it. It's going to be in early access for a year. That's their plan. Or at least it's not going to get content for like a year. They're going to be focusing purely on getting the metagame in and working, focusing on fixing the bugs and stuff like that, focusing on like the pain points for that year. So during early access, I'm just tying early access into his statement about like because year one of War Dogs is gonna have like a lack of content. This is what we're gonna do.
Our development will step the pricing up to $49.99 when the relevant updates are delivered throughout that first year. Then, when we come true on our commitment to deliver the metagame and all the content in 1.0, then and only then will we step the price up to $59.99. Right now, you can pre-order War Dogs for $39.99 on Steam and get access to the beta. And if you don't enjoy the beta or you just don't think the price is right, just refund it. We see this stair-stepped pricing approach as being the fairest method to reward the players who brought into War Dogs early, whilst also delivering a financial boost to the game later in its development, as we seek to continue to add value to the game. If the price feels too high for an early access game, please don't buy it yet. Wait until the game has more of what you want and consider it then.
Yep. Again, and this is the thing that nobody wants to admit. Like, when you're not pumping out content all the time, your player base will shrink. I dealt with it, or I shouldn't say I dealt with it. I put it in His Majesty the Dragon, in the book. Like, for the massive MMO Lost Frontiers, they're like, hey, eventually the player base will shrink. People will fall away from the game, and you will get to your core audience. That's in there. Like, your game can't stay at the very, very tippy top forever. Right? It just doesn't work that way. It feasibly can't. Like, you hope that you're getting new players in to make up for the loss of players, but eventually you're going to have that crunch where the player base will shrink down to what its core player base will be. I do agree with a couple people who have raised concerns about this point, though, of being like, because they'll make a claim here later. We'll let him make the claim first, and then we'll raise that point then.
War Dogs is performing beyond our expectations, with 800,000 wish lists and rising. But we still need to be...
Actually, hang on. Is this accurate? Oh, it's auto-generated. Then you could throw them away for the modern audience. Oh, why didn't that send? Why didn't that send? Very strange. It didn't send in the Stream Ninja. I see your thing, though, Rapar, so I'll just say it, since it didn't send to Stream Ninja for some reason. Then you could throw them away for the modern audience. Yeah.
level-headed about player expectations. Yes, we do expect our initial days after launch to have a lot more players than we expected, but we can tell you for a fact this is something completely normal, that those players will fall away over the next coming months. Player numbers will drop off, and journalists and influencers on the fringe of the community will try and rage bait your enjoyment out of the game for social media clicks.
This, I disagree with him on this statement, in that, no, they're not trying to rage bait you for clicks. It's legitimately, like, because again, the point would be, what about High Guard? What about Marathon and stuff like that? It's like, they're dog shit, right? That's the problem. They're dog shit games that are being hyped up to a ludicrous degree and being backed by fundamentally psychotic, like this psychotic mentality behind them. So, I disagree with this statement here. Yeah. Depends on the context. The game loses 95% of its player base, there's an issue. Exactly. 100%. Like, I don't care. Like, War Dogs, if you get 100,000 players for your early access period, right? If it drops down to what you say you're comfortable with, that's still really bad. That's 95% of the player base left. That doesn't look good. Like, you need to know why. And just saying that, oh, there are people rage baiting about dead game, that's not helpful for you. You need to focus on, okay, why did 95% of people leave? Is the stuff we have, is the foundation we here have not good enough to keep them coming back? Like, maybe not every day, but like at least playing on the weekends or things like that? So, yeah. This is War Dogs, by the way. One thing they don't mention here, but I know is a mechanic in the game. So, there is no player limit to the size of squads. Okay? Keep that in mind. There's no player limit to the size of squads. You have a 100-player game, but you don't have like a squad must be made up of 9 people. Right? And then that's the hard limit? No. If you have 30 people on your friends list that want to play the fucking game with you, you can all 30 of you funnel into one server and all be on the same squad if you so choose. The game is actually designed for drop-in, drop-out play, which is wild. It's basically just the mercs like, I'm not getting paid enough, and you just leave. That's kind of like an in-universe explanation for it. And when you join your friends from like Steam, you automatically get put in their squad. There's no like, okay, I'm in the game. What side are you on? What squad are you in? That doesn't happen. If you join your friend from Steam, you're on their team. You're in their squad. Like you pop into it. You're not gonna get a bunch of gear and stuff like that. You got to go spend your money to get your gear. But yeah, that's what they want. They want you to be like as smooth as possible to join in and play with your friends. Like I said, they don't mention it here. That is mentioned elsewhere, though. That is a mechanical thing that's known to the community. The community has talked about that as a mechanical system. And it's like, how can War Dogs figure this out, but nobody fucking else can figure this out? If you want to play a game, if you want to play with your friends, put us in the same fucking squad, like immediately.
This doesn't mean the game is dying. We're thinking longer term than a flash in the pan. Our goal is to settle into a sustainable, close-knit community. If we're pulling in 3,000 to 5,000 daily concurrent players.
So, again, this is the one where everyone's like, I hope we're held to this. Like, you say this, 3,000 to 5,000, okay? So if you're only getting 3,000 players, you better not start complaining and shut down the game, right? How does playing with your friends impress the shareholders with quarterly profit? Yeah. But this is one of those ones where it's like, okay. I think War Dogs will do better than this, but this is one of those things, this is one of those moments of like, if in the early access period, it gets down to where only 3,000 concurrent players a day are coming in, don't complain. Alright? I better not see the fucking sirens going off and the alarm bells ringing. You've made the claim now, 3,000 to 5,000. You're totally comfortable with. Personally, I think it will be higher than that. I'm thinking this is going to be like through early access period, probably a 15,000, 20,000 player game. Just because, as they said, they're not going to have the content there for early access. So yeah. Battlefield 96, Friend Pass. For $15, you can auto-join friend parties, yeah.
Who genuinely love the game. It'll allow new players to buy in at any time and join an active community, whilst we're free to keep building upon the War Dogs Foundation toward the larger 1.0 release.
Alright. You should hate shareholders. You really should. Most of them don't understand the thing that they buy into. They just see, oh, that's doing well. And then they just like, well, I want it to keep doing well. Give me more money. Like, private ownership of businesses is the way to go. I don't think I've ever made like a smoke screen of that. I've always said private businesses. That's why I have so much stuff. Hell, Everglade in Guardians of Nature is a private conglomerate. Like, he buys up businesses. A lot of them were public businesses. He buys them up. He basically buys off all the stock and he takes them private. He keeps them under himself. He's the beneficiary of it all. Which also means he's the only one that gives a fuck about if it's making money or not. He's like, you don't have to impress a room of people, you know, maybe filled with thousands and thousands of people who just like, we want more money. No, as long as he's making the money that he's comfortable with, you're good to go. Which means you're not going to cut as many corners. You're not going to be looking for like outs and things like that. You're not going to lower the quality so you can increase profits because the shareholders must be appeased. Just It's funny and smart, yeah.
Reason number 4 is monetization. Why am I always doing these like evil business ones? Can I please just have like a cool game mechanic or something really fun? Okay.
By the way, that wasn't on the subtitles there, but they said no. It's like, oh.
There are 3 things relating to monetization that you can hold us to account on. Number 1, we will not monetize the game at any point during early access.
So, during first year, all content that's going to be brought in will be free basically for everyone, right? And they're saying, don't expect content regularly, right? They've got one new map that's coming in during the early access period, and they might do a vehicle here or there or a weapon here or there. But early access is not for getting a shit ton of new content into the game, right? Early access is for the grunt work. Early access is for are the servers on fire? Oh, God. So, that's what they said. Remember, they already said this is what it's going to do. So, they're making sure that they're not going to drop, like, skin packs and things like that during early access. Any monetization like that comes after early access, once the game is fully launched, and they want to keep the servers running. Because remember, they have a global economy system that they have in this game.
Number 2, we will never monetize in-game cash or gold bars. They must be...
Yep. So, you can't buy in-game cash, you can't buy gold bars. You have to earn them.
Earned through play. And number 3, we will never allow you to purchase camos. Camos should show a...
Yeah. No camos. Nope. You earn the camos. And by the way, there is a mechanical system. So, they talk about this, I don't know if they talk about it in this video, but there's a video where they talk about they have kill cam, right? This is kind of a hardcore milsim. I'd say this is a milsim light game, but it has kill cam, and a lot of people were like, it has kill cam, that's so arcadey. The kill cam is actually built into the mechanics of the game, and what I mean by that is, if you're going for body shots, the kill cam will show you exactly where you are. If you hit him in the head, the kill cam just points in the vague direction you are in. If you're wearing a ghillie suit, there is no kill cam. The trade-off is that the ghillie suit is 1, super fucking expensive, and 2, that you have no armor. It's a fucking ghillie suit. It don't resist bullets well. Your armor is stealth. So if you get killed by somebody in a ghillie suit, you're not seeing shit. Now, they have servers. They have a server toggle called hardcore mode that they can put on. They're not putting it on their normal servers, but they said the community servers, which are part of the global economy, can turn on hardcore mode. Hardcore mode turns off kill cam on everything. Now, you don't need the ghillie suits for kill cam. You are forced into first-person driving. There is no third-person view or anything like that. Like, yeah, there is hardcore mode. So getting killed as a mechanic to keep you from running into the same ambush sniper. Yep. Like I said, the exception is that sniper, like, they showed the price of the ghillie suit. The ghillie suit is wild expensive. We're talking, like, to fully kit yourself out is like, what, 50 to 70,000 bucks? That's a big chunk of change to invest. Because remember, you don't keep that money. If you die, that money just goes poof. And the other person who killed you can then take your ghillie suit and put it on themselves. So it's one of those like poof. But remember, it's not an extraction shoot or anything. You're not like leaving with this gear. You're literally getting paid like, oh, you shot that guy. Here's an extra $1,000 for you. Oh, you killed that guy. Here's an extra $1,000 for you. Oh, you helped kill secure that guy. Here's $250 for you. You drove people to the battlefield. You know, you've taxi serviced. Here's $250 for each person that got out of your taxi. So you're making money as you're doing everything in the game, but that's still a big chunk of change you just got taken out of your wallet if you want to pick the ghillie suit. This game is War Dogs. WARDOGS. War Dogs. You're playing for one of 3 private military corporations. One is NATO-based weaponry, one is Warsaw Pact-based weaponry, and one of them is Middle Eastern African-based. And I'm like, that's interesting. They have some weird stuff. Because, you know, South Africa exists. So they get some weird toys.
Players' status, not how much money they have. I think at this point we've made it abundantly clear there will be no monetization during early access, with the sole exception.
So this is the only exception they're saying. This is the only monetization, the added monetization compared to just getting the game. This is their only exception to monetization during early access. So you might be thinking, oh, here it comes. You know, can you save some money? Could you have like a fund? No.
Of an optional supporters edition.
That's it. The supporters pack. It gives you some skins. Like you have some faction weapon camos, the Little Bird taxi camo, the supporter tag. So you'll see here, you can kind of see it, right? So you'll have this shows that you're a supporter on the scoreboards and everything. And then you get some bobbleheads that you can pick to sit on any vehicle you drive. You'll have your little bobblehead there that's sitting there nodding along with you. That's it.
This includes 3 starter weapon skins, a Little Bird skin, and a couple of bobbleheads. It also includes a tag on the scoreboard for players who want to show off their support in-game.
Yeah.
However, we don't want the stance here to be misconstrued of War Dogs never having monetization at all. That's not what we're saying. War Dogs will release into 1.0 and launch on multiple platforms, giving us a large boost in base game sales that we can use to reinvest into the game for post-release. However, Bulkhead will have ongoing running costs, player vault storage, stats, telemetry, anti-cheat updates, and servers on top of continued development costs that are expenses that need to be justifiable long-term if base game sales no longer cover those costs. And to be clear, we're talking years in advance. It might seem strange to be talking about monetization that's years down the line, but we want you to be able to buy in knowing what you're buying into long term.
Yep.
We hope that we've shown that we're more than happy to have open discussions to explore different approaches to problems before committing to them. Sometimes we'll be...
Yeah, did you notice in that video, by the way, where we were talking about like the environmental destruction?
Discussions to explore
Look at the buildings.
different approaches to problems before...
You see how they're taking chunks out of the buildings and everything? So we're getting a little bit of Battlefield Bad Company vibes in here. So, neat. Like, could you imagine Squad with actual destructible buildings and stuff? Oh, God.
Before committing to them. Sometimes we'll be a bit off the mark, but good faith conversation is how we intend to find an acceptable line years in advance that feels fair and allows us to justify the continuous stream of content we want to serve up many years post 1.0 release. The War Dogs intellectual property is owned solely by Bulkhead, the developer. We have control of the future of War Dogs. So to wrap that point up, we recommend you don't buy War Dogs if you're staunchly against any form of monetization, as you'll become disappointed in a few years post-release. Our goal is not to bleed players dry until they quit. It's to break even and then reinvest those profits.
This is the one where I liked it, where they're like, hey, we're not going for super visual fidelity, right? We're not going for... This isn't going to be the prettiest game ever. I still think it looks great. because I hate to break it to all the AAA industry and everything out there. There is a point where adding an extra nostril hair or an extra pore to someone's face isn't impressive. Sorry, not impressive. Keep an aesthetic. So I super much appreciate that they are doing this where it's like, hey, we're gonna make it perform. Like 60 FPS is the minimum. Oh yeah.
If you're buying War Dogs for the next breakthrough in video game graphics, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah. Like I said, I think the game looks good. Yeah, there are people who be like, oh, you know, look at the trees and stuff like that. There's way better graphics and stuff like that. It's like, okay. It looks good enough. And guess what? It runs well.
On the flip side,
that's what we want.
If you're expecting the performance of a 5v5 competitive shooter like Counter-Strike or...
This is another thing they needed to point out is like, you're not gonna get 400 FPS out of the box, right? They're shooting for 60, and 60 being the bare minimum. Like this, if it goes under 60, they're fixing it. But otherwise, they're like, we're not promising you're gonna get 500 FPS out of the box. No, holy shit, no.
Valorant, you're also in the wrong place. We've done a lot of work to make UE5 FPS ready over a range of hardware, but if you're expecting to play native 4K at 240 FPS, War Dogs is not the game for you. Every player's bar for what is acceptable performance is different, and we think what we've achieved with War Dogs is actually pretty good considering the scale and the ambition of the title, and our alpha testers have also shared that same opinion. If you have a lower spec rig and want more confidence before pre-ordering, then have a look at our Steam page's minimum and recommended specs, and then check out our latest devlog where we show our alpha build running on a range of different hardware. Alternatively, pre-order the game, join in the beta, and if you don't get the performance you're looking for, or it doesn't live up to the hype, just refund the game. No hard feelings.
Yeah, they literally have a potato mode built into the game, and they have a computer that's known as the potato at the office, and it is like what is the lowest spec gaming PC, air quotes, that they could buy at like one of these places. I generally don't care about 60 plus FPS. Isn't there some limit to human perception? Yeah, but it's in the thousands. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, oh, people can't see above 20 FPS. No, you can. First off, your information is continuous data stream. It is not in frames. Second off, if it was in frames, based off of the military testing that the Air Force did, it's in the thousands. It's way up there before you physically cannot tell a difference. It's how you have people that can spot immediately. It's like here, we have 5 monitors set up. You need to pick out which one is running at 600 FPS, which one's running at 300, which one's running at 240, which one's running at 60. And they're like, you have those people, and they can just go and be like, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Because again, you could tell. And again, if we get into the whole like light, like a flash of light for a frame, for like a 0.00001 of a second, people can still register where that light came from. Like, the human eye is, the limit towards perception is way too high to actually reach. But that was the excuse that developers always made. Oh, you can't see above 20 anyway. So 20, they tried doing games at 24 FPS to be more cinematic. But it made people nauseous. We don't know why. It's like, trust me, if people could only see at 20 frames per second, if that was actually true, which it fucking isn't, then you wouldn't notice that all the soap operas look weird, right? Because soap operas were always filmed at 60. I cap at 60 because these monitors can only do 60, right? I'm on a budget here. These monitors go to 60. So I cap all my stuff at 60. Technically, I cap it at like 65. So if there's any little like wiggle room variance, it stays above my monitor refresh rate. But yeah. I keep it at like 60. That's my limit. Oh, FOV, I always crank it up to 90 minimum. I need it. Yeah, soap operas were filmed at 60. Like, normal television is 24 FPS with shit tons of fucking blur and smear frames and stuff everywhere. It's why a lot of movies and things like that, when you pause the movie, it looks disgusting. Like, unless it's somebody just sitting there talking, if there's any kind of motion and you pause the movie, it looks terrible. Because they are heavily relying on motion blur so that your brain will fill in the gaps. Again, they made this whole lie about 24 FPS because film is expensive. And I don't mean that as in like, oh, it's expensive to make the movies, boo-hoo. No, I mean like the film reel itself is actually expensive. Like the film that they actually record the movie onto is fucking expensive. So the less you gotta use of it, the better. Excuse me.
We intend to use early access how it was originally intended. Letting you play the early access build that shows the potential of War Dogs, whilst we work towards unlocking the full potential at 1.0.
Oh, I hate motion blur. I hate motion blur as well. It drives me batty.
However, we will not have a linear roadmap or fixed content.
See, this is what I like here too. Like I said, they're not going to do a roadmap for the early access period. They're like, we don't know what the super pain point's going to be. What if something dire comes up, right? And now we need to shift all priorities on there. So, again, it's early access. You have no idea when you stress it this hard what the system's going to do. Also, hey, Grindus. Again, it's actually a comfort setting for people's eyes, right? It's beneficial for low FPS mode. Yeah, it is an eye comfort thing.
Instead, we'll be testing things live with the community, much like we've been doing during our closed tests, at seemingly random times as the priorities of our development timeline shift. We know early access has earned a bad reputation because many games forever remain in their unfinished state with no plan to ever release.
Yeah.
War Dogs has a plan and will reach full release roughly 24 months after launching into early access in September. Reaching 1.0 isn't just important for us financially. It's about delivering our full vision for the game and launching on multiple platforms to even more players.
This, I like that they mentioned they had a really bad game. Like, I don't think it was that bad, but they had a bad game that got kickstarted and it kind of flopped on them. So, I'm glad that they don't shy away from this, because this is a thing that a lot of naysayers jump in and, like, you know, chide them for. It's like, oh, you had that Kickstarter game that failed. No, I'll let them explain it themselves.
Yes, we are the developers of Battalion 1944. That's not hidden information or something we like shy away from. 10 years ago, when Bulkhead was much, much smaller and our developers much, much younger, we kickstarted and created a back-to-basics 5v5 World War II shooter called Battalion 1944. I think as much as we wanted Battalion to succeed, with the low player numbers of only 50 to 200 daily players, our publisher relationships kind of broke down, and the console version was held in limbo by lawyers, and we'd burned through our profits supporting the game. So when we went dark on communication, it was way darker than we should have gone. And truthfully, We just didn't have anything to talk about other than the failure of Battalion and the glimmers of hope and passion project we were working on in our spare time. The entire time since Battalion died, we felt like we owed the community a debt we just couldn't pay. Thankfully, work for hire projects came in and helped keep the studio alive. And eventually we saved enough money to be able to take the unprecedented step in refunding every kick.
So this is the crazy part, right? Like, actually, like, they didn't forget about Battalion 1944. It wasn't like that, well, that flop sort of thing, right? No, once they had the money to do it, they refunded everybody that backed the game. No matter what tier they were at, no questions asked. Because the game failed. Like, that was their way to make amends to everyone. Can you imagine anyone else doing that? Right? Can you imagine any studio doing that? Right? There are some studios I could picture it with, but that's not an EA or a DICE or an Activision or a Blizzard or anything. Fuck no. Holy shit.
Our backer who helped us bring Battalion to life in the first place. And it's these lessons and scars from Battalion that War Dogs has been built upon. It's why we've been so cautious with our playtesting and why we've been so open with our marketing. To be really clear, we wouldn't have War Dogs without Battalion's failure. But if you still don't trust...
That's what I mean, right? Conversely, the Phoenix Point devs mocked their backers, saying they didn't need them after getting the Epic handout. Yep, Larian, I agree. Larian, I would see doing it. Grynus got auto-translated, but he's talking about Larian Game Studios. Cool. But Larian are also kind of the ones that kind of show how to do both early access and Kickstarter, like, properly. So...
Right. Our studio because of Battalion 1944. Don't rush to buy War Dogs. We hope our actions speak louder than words, and you're always welcome to join the fun if you're willing to give our team another chance.
War Dogs has local VoIP heard by all 3 teams.
Yeah, the auto-translate is terrible. The auto-translate system is god-awful. I wish it didn't exist. So again, local VoIP. What do you think they're going to say about this? Again, it's not like a only your squad can hear you, only your side can hear you thing. They make it clear VoIP can be heard by everyone.
War Dogs has local VoIP heard by all 3 teams. And that means players will naturally talk shit. And not just players. The devs are going to do it too.
Fucking good as well, mate.
If you want...
Wasn't even paying attention, Jay. I bet you think you're that fucking good, don't you, mate? Or as well, mate.
More sensitive to that kind of banter, you do have the option to mute individual players or VoIP entirely, and disable the text chat. However...
That's one of those amusing things in Rogue Point, Covert Team. I'm reloading! It's like, technically in Rogue Point, it's very difficult to go stealth in Rogue Point. Like, holy shit.
There is a line between banter and being a dickhead. And that line can be drawn by the community server admins, per server, and ultimately by us, the devs. Just for the record, if the devs that got banned from Twitch...
Yep. The developers... These guys got banned from Twitch, right?
Have to get involved and ban you, it's very likely that you're a dick.
War Dogs is designed as a PC-focused game for PC players first, but we know that some players want to just use gamepads, so there will be partial gamepad support at early access launch. However, keyboard and mouse will always be the optimal way to experience War Dogs on PC. With controller support comes the topic of aim assist. This will exist, but only to...
So, again, this is the thing that nobody wants to admit when they talk about controllers. Like, oh, when people talk about controllers having aim hacks, like, they fucking require them. Have you ever played a game an actual game that doesn't have aim assist for the people playing on controllers, they're gonna show you the footage of a guy trying to shoot someone with the controller with no aim assist whatsoever.
A small degree, as playing without it is honestly just common.
Look at this. This was their early controller with no aim assist. Watch this.
Bad.
Yeah, the accuracy is so bad because again, you're moving this way, so you got to nudge tiny, infinitesimally smaller and smaller and smaller, like micro movements to get on target. Like holy fuck. It's not. This is not a thing. This is not a thing that's possible. Analog joysticks have some benefits, like in action-adventure games. Like the Souls games. I would not play that with mouse and keyboard. I've done it. I've speedrun with it before, too. I wouldn't do it normally. It's not a fun experience. Man, FPS shooting, definitely not one of them. And again, just to reemphasize, watches. This is not, like, the developers don't claim to be the best ever, but they do actually play their game. Like, 100%, they actually play it a lot. This, though, is, like, if you need to see how god-awful trying to hit anything with a controller actually is when you have nothing to try to help you in that regard.
Honestly, just comically bad.
Again, all the little micro adjustments you need, the tiniest little tap to just move you, like, a little itty bitty bit. It's not happening. Not happening on a controller.
There aren't any handouts in War Dogs though. It requires mastery, skill, and knowledge to succeed, regardless of input. If the idea someone wants to play with a gamepad is a deal breaker for you, then don't buy War Dogs.
Yep. So, this is the whole thing, too. I like this where they're like, oh man, but the respawn timers and stuff like that, and, you know, having to go reload up with gear and stuff like that, it's like, sorry, sucks to suck, doesn't it? Don't get killed.
Nobody likes dying. In War Dogs especially, if you're running in like you're playing Call of Duty or Battlefield, you will likely die to someone playing more cautiously. If you're not willing to learn from those deaths, you're gonna have a bad time. One of the complaints we see from players is about how long it takes to get back into the control zone after you die.
Yeah, and then again, I like that they bring up here, like, that's your punishment for dying.
Blissfully unaware that this is your punishment for dying, which creates an entire value vector for alternate roles such as pilots and drivers, getting you back into the action. Instead of...
you see here on screen, let me get rid of the subtitles. This is what I'm talking about, right? Like, again, you're actually being rewarded for being, you know, the fucking truck bitch. You're being rewarded for being the pilot that ferries people in. You're being rewarded for delivering supplies and stuff.
For alternate roles such as pilots and drivers, getting you back into the action. Instead of an arbitrary respawn timer on your UI like an arcade shooter, in War Dogs your respawn timer is instead based on the choices you make from spawn. Should you buy a vehicle or catch a lift? Which vehicle is the fastest?
Get in the Toyota. Let's do this.
Or not? It all matters. How and who you travel with, how fast you're willing to get there, and deciding the optimal route to get back into the action. Getting from the safe zone to the control zone, to holding on and respawning.
Oh, you should play it with a controller. It's much nicer. Souls games on a controller are much, much nicer. Like, again, I've done mouse and keyboard. I did the infamously bad PC port of the Prepare to Die edition with mouse and keyboard. Controller is infinitely better.
Every decision has risks and consequences, with every outcome etched into your account balance. It's your cash, your decisions, your consequences. We've said it before, War Dogs is not for everyone. So if you can't cope with those stakes, you may want to play something else instead.
I also like that they're just like, yeah, we're not trying to, we're making it for a wider audience than like a Squad or a Tarkov game, right? But it's still more of a hardcore game than a Call of Duty or even a Battlefield. Like, you're not... You have to actually weigh your options and, like, do I want to risk doing this? Do I want to do a budget build?
There you go. There's 10 reasons you shouldn't buy War Dogs. If you're still here after all of that, War Dogs Early Access might actually be for you. But why are we laboring these points? For us, it all comes down to confidence. Confidence that you're buying a product from a team with a vision. We're not saying our game is perfect. We're saying, here's our plan, here's our vision, we know what we want to make. We've got the confidence to put War Dogs in your hands before it's fully complete. Confidence that we've spent the last 4 years building something that players genuinely want. And confidence that War Dogs is not being made for everyone is the reason it will succeed. And if we're right, the commitment to take our profits and go all in on making our 1.0 release everything we know it can be. With a blessing from Valve, War Dogs Early Access and Supporters Edition is available to pre-order now, and purchasing will guarantee you access to our closed beta on the 21st.
Yeah, Valve essentially reached out to them. Once they're like, you have 800,000 wish lists, all right? So Valve reached out to them and was like, you should do a pre-order for your thing, and it's basically explain them like some of the benefits of having a pre-order, even for early access. Like, what is the benefit to doing this? And a lot of it is, like, one, extra cash flow coming in is always good, but two, just knowing that, hey, we have this many people that have put their money down now, and they're like, yeah, we're going for it. So, yeah.
Of August to help you decide if you've made the right choice. You've listened and you've watched. Now is the time to play.
Yep. So like I said, I genuinely like that they did have like legitimate reasons not to get the game versus, like I said, the usual hype trailers are like, reason number 1, you're a loser weenie that doesn't like fun. It's like, no. No, they had actual, like, legitimate reasons. Don't get War Dogs for these actual reasons. Let's see. We'll do this one, too, because this one talks about their philosophy on, like, level design and performance. So...
We've been showing you bombastic, all-out warfare and tactical team play in every video we've made so far. This time though, we thought we'd change up the pace. Today, we'll be showing you the world of War Dogs, the trade-offs we made to realize it, and the priorities we chose to reach the performance goals that we set for ourselves.
Yep.
Not at the end of development, but from the very beginning, to make War Dogs an Unreal Engine 5 FPS ready.
When we started making War Dogs, there was this pressure from like the investors and publishers to make the game like look really unique and something people haven't seen before. They want you to appeal to the mass market and audiences that don't really exist. And we kind of knew like deep down that War Dogs, it didn't need that kind of crutch to just appeal to FPS players.
Yeah, just make an FPS game. And, you know, you can appeal to a lot of FPS players by just being, like, a good FPS game. It's... No, we don't need all the other bells and whistles. Like, hey, if you just show us you have really good mechanics and gunplay and everything like that, that's already going to draw people in. Excuse me.
Like, if I'm really honest about it, I think developers often have this kind of like ego about creating something totally unique, and very early on we're able to acknowledge like this is just our ego wanting to do something different and the publisher wanting to kind of carve out its own unique space. But really, does anyone even want that?
It's just not that. That's not what the game is. And as much as I want to just sell the art and tell you how the world's great, it's like the reality is it's not an art piece, it's a video game.
Mm-hmm. So essentially it's like, you're not here for, you know, a sweeping story. You're not here for like this super intricate world with all this complex system stuff like that. No, you're here to fight. Like they have the minimum of a story in that. Why would all three of these PMCs want this territory? But that's kind of it, right?
That doesn't mean we wanted this like generic Russian setting either. We've seen that loads before, but we did want somewhere that was like Eastern European in tone, so it felt familiar to players and grounded, but it had its own flavor, architecture, terrain, and culture. At the same time, the world of War Dogs needed to support our core narrative of three rival PMC factions fighting for cash, influence, and control over a strategically important region.
Yeah.
The more we researched and gathered reference images, the more one country just kept standing out.
Welcome to Georgia.
You can see it playing up that hill.
The geography, the location, how it was tied into the story and everything else. I think we decided Georgia was a perfect fit for the game. You can try and get a feel for a place through satellite imagery, through Google Maps, but what we found, especially in Georgia, outside of these main cities, is that there's almost nothing. And I think at that point, Joe was like, yeah, let's go Georgia.
We really wanted to make like this serious video about all this incredible research and all this reference material we went and gathered, and that really did happen, but if I'm honest, the amount of shit that went wrong on this trip was just ridiculous.
It's funny that he says the amount of shit, because like I said, I've seen this video before. This is not me like doing a first time reaction or anything like that, right? I've seen this video before, but it is funny. Like, this is that moment where Count Dankula paused the video and he's like, in the business, we call this foreshadowing.
It's like a pack of wild dogs. Very angry.
What's it called? War Dogs, alright?
He was like, no photos.
Who said no photos?
The guy in the massive truck.
It was a really weird trip. It was definitely one to remember.
I'm not driving and I'm fucking stressed.
But I did get food poisoning and I fucking hated it.
Joe had a bad time in Georgia. Yeah, I thought Georgia was colder.
Joe had a bad time in Georgia.
When we were in Georgia, we kind of had this mantra of like, if this was a survival...
Alright, look at that building. That is so fucking goofy. You know what I mean? Welcome to brutalism, but we're trying to do a spin on it, right? It's so fucking goofy.
Survival game. Like, where would you explore? Where would you go and like look for something?
I said, brutalism can be beautiful. There's a method to the madness, right? But, oh my god, brutalism, it's not good for that type of architecture. Holy shit. I love living in the Jenga tower.
You needed. And that was kind of how we traveled the country.
It has such a wide variety of like architecture.
Again, if you want what I think brutalism done well, the game Control. The game Control shows brutalism actually done well, but that's brutalism in the interior design and everything, and how they function with it. Brutalism as like an architectural thing, you can make it look good. It's very difficult to make brutalism look good, though. Instead, like, look at Gothic architecture and everything, like with big columns and flying buttresses and, you know, these sweeping expanses and stuff like that. Gothic architecture is very easy to look good, right? Renaissance architecture is very easy. Victorian era is very easy. Like, Brutalist is like the... where it looks good, there is a massive gap between just making something for function and where it looks good at the same time in Brutalist architecture. Oh yeah. Like I said, things are a little spicy every now and then, but we'll see.
Texture and history. You know, you start on the right side in Tbilisi in the city, and it is very much a mix between modern and very historic. And then the further you go over, you know, we visited into the middle in Chiatura, where we had the mining town, and we took a lot of inspiration from there, and that kind of is really what War Dogs is. It's those kind of like rural areas.
Yeah, Chiatura was probably the closest thing. It had like that industrial part, which was very old. It was like an old train station that was kind of abandoned, and that linked then into like the edge of the town, and you could kind of see how it broke up into the little bits.
Yep. Brute is just the German word for concrete. The philosophy was always unlocking the potential of reinforced concrete. Box is the laziest form of that. 100%. 100%. Like I said, there is actual good brutalist architecture where they take curves and designs and things like that into it, but it's still obviously just concrete. But like to get there, you need a lot of fucking talent. to get to that level where it actually looks really nice. And like I said, in Control, you could see what beautiful brutalist architecture actually looks like.
Outside of Tbilisi, there was a town there, and it had all of these train carts that were like rusted out and abandoned, but people were using them as like sheds. But that kind of inspired some of the areas that we have now, and especially the flats that are in the game. Churches as well. You could see a church every couple of miles.
All these places we visited that you can see in the game, like the swimming pool and the factories and the houses, that's what really makes our fictional region of Colchia so grounded and believable.
This is War Dogs, Dimitri.
But none of that research, none of the art, none of the visuals matter in an FPS if it feels like you're playing a PowerPoint presentation.
Mm-hmm.
You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. Using Unreal Engine 5 in 2026 as an FPS developer specifically puts War Dogs under a magnifying glass in a genre where the expectations of smooth frame rates and no stutters are a requirement, not just a bonus. For context, everyone at Bulkhead is a gamer. We check our applicants' Steam hours during...
This, I think, is like, hey, do you want to make good games? Do you want to actually make good games as a company? Hire people that play games. Don't hire the fucking pink hairs who want to be on Twitter all day whining and screaming and screeching, right? Hire actual people that play games. So, let's go back a little bit to hear what he's saying.
For context, everyone at Bulkhead is a gamer. We check our applicants' Steam hours during our interview process and openly reject applicants for not being a culture fit.
That right there. Again. That right there. And not suits. Oh yeah. Holy shit. Honestly, business degree might be the thing to be like, I think you should, like, if somebody says they have a business degree, I think you should boot them out of the company. Well, again, like, I don't know, Dimitri. I don't find it that bad for Sandbox and everything, especially because like people can just get Sandbox and then just take the engine. Right? That's the whole point behind it being open in that way.
Understand as much as you do how important a solid frame rate is to good game feel. The only reason we move forward our release date is because we hit our minimum targets. Other developers may treat 60 FPS as their gold standard, whilst for us at Bulkhead, it's the foundation for what's acceptable.
Yep. The bare minimum. 60 FPS and above is it.
100 players in the same locations, not scattered all over the map. Dynamic base building, vehicles, infantry players sending important gameplay data to each other within large destructible map. What we've managed to do is pretty impressive because of the technical challenges involved with a game of this scale.
I think it's frankly a miracle, like that we've gotten this far, right? And it's obviously a lot of hard work. There's no other game you can kind of compare War Dogs to. Battlefield is probably the closest, but you can do a lot more in War Dogs. You can drive like 20 odd vehicles into the point and we go, okay, just let the player do it. So from like where we were and where we are now, it's definitely like night and day.
War Dogs is a more demanding multiplayer game than most mainstream shooters. Here's an empty Unreal Engine project running out of the box. This is what most games give you, with some art chucked over the top.
It's not really about the engine, it's about the systems and how you utilize the systems within the engine. Most engines use the exact same rendering path. It's all to do with like the systems you use, balancing of the systems, constantly checking, and being like really critical of it. 60 FPS is minimum for us. We've been trying to
I've never needed, like, I've always had offline mode for Steam, where if it can't connect, you can start Steam in offline mode, and then you can just play the games that don't require a connection in and of themselves on Steam. Like, I don't know what you mean. They've had that feature for decades. Like, unless now they don't. Yeah, like, that's been a thing for, like, since the start of Steam. Steam offline mode. Like, it's not just a toggle just so your friends don't see you. There's an actual, like, no, I don't want the internet connection or anything. I just want to play offline. It's like, okay, you can do that. Yeah, 60 FPS is minimum for us.
hit 60 FPS on the low spec. That has been like a clear goal, whereas like most
GTX 1660 1080p native potato. So again, potato graphics. This is, you're running on super low spec hardware. Again, a 1660 now, that's crazy low. All right? That's crazy low. And they said that this was another goal. What was good for them is that because hardware is becoming so expensive, like, yeah.
companies be like, oh, it's running 30 FPS, that's fine. It's not really, not in today's age.
We'd rather be upfront before anyone considers spending their money and ending up disappointed. You will not be able to run this game at 240 FPS native at 1440p whilst on our highest graphics settings. That fact alone may be a deal breaker for some of the wider Steam audience used to less demanding 5v5 shooters. From the feedback we've gathered across a range of hardware, most players are pleasantly surprised. War Dogs delivers good performance to most users. There's always a limit to that though. PC upgrade prices are crazier than ever, and money's tight. That's why we're introducing Potato Mode.
Potato Mode.
That's so stupid.
3 years ago, we walked into a normal game store and picked up the most average gaming PC we could find.
It's right here. i5 8600, 1660.
Then we forced our tech art team to play War Dogs on it until the game ran at 60 FPS at the lowest settings. Natively, we're close to hitting those targets, and with the help of some upscaling, we're surpassing them.
On the flip side of potato setups though, we have overkill mode.
Yeah, this is if you want to, like, really push your rig to the limits.
Mode is War Dogs push to its visual limits, and we'll be reserving this graphics preset only to high-end PCs on launch, meaning if you don't have a capable PC, we will not even show you this setting. The reason is purely to protect players who haven't watched our vlogs or stumble.
Yeah, so essentially, like, essentially for them, they're like, if you're on overkill mode, you're pushing everything to the extreme. So they don't want people coming in that don't have hardware physically capable of running it to even see this setting, right? They're just like, nah, dog, you don't got the specs for it. And again, I don't think the game looks bad even on, like, the moderate settings, stuff like that. I'm probably going to be playing it more towards the medium. Maybe high, we'll see. Like, if it runs well enough, yeah, I'll gladly play it on high.
Cross War Dogs on launch and wonder why they aren't getting the performance they expected whilst using the highest graphics settings available. So to combat that, we're only making Overkill available to players on 40 series cards and above.
How are we optimizing the game?
How are we optimizing the game? Jesus Christ.
We are making...
How are we optimizing the game? Oh. That's a moment where someone's like, where do I even fucking begin?
A 100-player game that goes against the current grain of battle royales, which as the server progresses or as the game progresses, players drop off, which means that performance naturally increases. We're introducing a mechanic that is constantly trying to drive people together for a full server duration. There's never any rest.
Optimization is not something you can just do at the end of development. It needs to be a fundamental part of your ethos as a studio from day one.
We basically started from the very beginning. My first thing was server performance. That's going to be our key bottleneck. We need to nail that 100-player game, have to get it nailed. We worked on that first, extensively. The key thing is that people don't do, and it's really simple, it's just measure your game, get the metrics, see where it's slow, look for those bottlenecks, and then just focus on them.
We have 3 pillars to our optimization, and they are client performance, visuals, and networking. We realized playtesters cared more about consistent, smooth frame rate over blisteringly high FPS with stutters. So consistency is what we prioritize.
But client performance isn't one single clever trick. It's a stack of decisions made over years about what matters to players on screen and optimizing around that.
Optimization is a lot of the time a huge smoke and mirrors game. Basically, you as a player have got this letterbox into the world. Whatever we can do to make that letterbox the best visuals, the most performant, that's what we're trying to do, and that's what optimization in a nutshell comes down to. Lowering movement update rates, lowering animation update rates, reducing fidelity of visuals. They're all the tricks that we're doing. They're all ones that you don't just get out the box with Unreal Engine, and you can't just tick a box and be like, hey, give me 60 FPS.
Performance is a death by 1,000 cuts. If you cut corners on every system you develop, by the time you reach release, those 1,000 cuts literally do kill you.
Too often developers look for big things they can fix and optimize that save the day, but that's just not how performance works.
Yep.
That amateur...
Again, there's not much for me to say other than, yeah, just agreeing. It's all based off of your, as they said, their work ethos. There's not going to be some big, oh, well, we found this light source, and when we fixed that, it saved us, 15 frames. Things like that. That's not how it works. Especially if you've been cutting corners the entire time, your foundation is incredibly flimsy. If you've been building with these restrictions in mind from the beginning, you know where your wiggle room is. You know your breathing room. You have those options to then cut later. Once you lop the limb off, you can't reattach it.
Approach has continuously disappointed gamers. So by focusing on performance from day one and being incredibly strict and bullish on our team about performance, we've been able to deliver only what we would consider good enough.
We kind of always put performance first, and then we try to get as much visual fidelity out of it as we can.
It's not...
Reminds me of Skylines 2 and the fully modeled and rendered teeth on every person. Why in the fuck do you need that? What the fuck? Why do you need that? You're a city planning game. Why do you need to see the people's teeth?
Sexy to have performance as an art pillar. But it's true. Accessibility is key with these kinds of games.
We have this huge map, you fly through it, you're loading stuff in, players are dropping stuff, players are driving vehicles. All of that behavior has a cost.
We mix new and old rendering techniques on purpose.
For example, we use trim sheets a lot, but then we also use nanite, which is a brand new virtualized geometry, high-end behavior. We kind of have to balance that, right? You can't just go, okay, all nanite have super dense geometry.
We have to compromise on fidelity sometimes. We can make it look really good. You can turn on all the bells and whistles, and then everyone's got up to 30 FPS. It's not good enough. There's always room for more improvements. So no, I'm not satisfied, because we've still got time, and we can still get better perf. There are constraints, but it doesn't mean I'm just going to give up and be like, well, so it can be. It's just You have to keep pushing. Same with perf, same with hard, same with anything.
Straight up, it just doesn't matter how many frames you get if your shots on target don't connect. That's an entire video in itself. We'll release that at a later date. For now, just know we treat it at the same level as performance when it comes to game feel and responsiveness.
Yeah. So they don't want the Tarkov situation that happened. For anyone that doesn't remember, Tarkov was infamous for having really dog shit netcode, where you would get super bulleted, or you would have phantom bullets and things like that all the time. You would be around a corner and then get shot by a dude who was like shooting your spirit that was around that corner 3 seconds ago. It was super fucking bad. Like, it was infamously bad. The guy Nikita who's kind of the head of the people that make who Battlestate Games who make Tarkov, he was freaking the fuck out and he was being salty and like, no, people are just retarded. They don't know what netcode is and stuff like that. And people were showing test after test after test like, your netcode is awful. It sucks. Your refresh rate, your tick rate is so bad that you are more likely to get phantom bulleted or super bulleted. For anyone that doesn't know what a super bullet is, it's where all the stuff, like the server's trying to register all the hits, but it hasn't registered a hit because the person has a hit, but then they do hit and the server's now registered and it has to catch up with all the damage that's supposed to be done. So that single 9mm bullet suddenly does the same equivalency as like a 50 cal from an anti-material rifle. The tick rate is a big problem in a lot of netcode things, so it'll be interesting to see how they deal with it here.
When everything in War Dogs comes together in a playtest, the immersion of the environments, the spectacle of the visuals, along with the performance and network reliability holding up, War Dogs is genuinely one of the most fun projects we've worked on, and everyone comes away from a playtest with their own War Dogs moments. It's so validating to know it's not just us saying it now either. Playtesters are having just as much fun as we are, posting their own War Dogs moments in our pre-alpha testing channels.
You turn me back to base?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Right, that's it. Make sure you sign up to playtest and wishlist the game. If you don't wishlist, you have zero chance of being invited to play.
Kill! Get him! Alright. Let's see, what else do we want to watch? Kill! It will kill. It will kill. So yeah, because the playtest is next Friday, we're not going to do a Friday Fun Day next Friday either. The playtest for War Dogs is that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Obviously, I'm not going to be streaming on Saturday and Sunday. So, yeah, we'll do that on that Friday. Well, I guess I should put a caveat there. I don't know when the servers go live. If they go live too late, we won't do it. But I'm hoping they don't go live too late. Checking this real quick. Yeah. Activate a power and you see a blur behind an enemy and you can shoot the blur and do damage. Like, again, that's neat, but you would also need, like, proper network coding for that to function anyways. Like, again, cool mechanic, but you would need that to be from the beginning. There's a couple games that had like a rewind mechanic. I mean, I'm trying to think of what it was. No. Like, there's an FPS game. There was an FPS game that had, like, rewind mechanics so you could fuck with things. Was it Time Shifters? I think it was Time Shifters. Hold on. Time Shifters. Game? No. What is it called? I can picture it in my mind. Right? I can picture the like box art in my mind. It's like a futuristic soldier on the box art, and it's not Time Splitters. What was it? Oh, it was Time Shift. Okay. And not Shifters, Time Shift. Okay. Like, I was like, I could picture it. I could picture this stupid fucking box art in my mind. Here it is. Yeah, this is the box art I could picture in my mind. I was trying to do this to, like, open it up in a thing, but no, it takes you to here anyways, so. And it didn't work. I was like, surely I can get a better picture than that. Yeah. Singularity was more like time manipulation for specific key things. Like, yes, you could turn people into dust and stuff like that, but no, this was much more like actual stopping time thing. Oh! Quantum Break! I didn't think about Quantum Break. Quantum Break does that, but it's not really an FPS. That's a third-person shooter, but yeah, Quantum Break does. Man, Darkest of Days. That's a bounty choice. We haven't met that bounty, but Darkest of Days is a bounty choice. Technically, every game's a bounty choice, but again, they just scale based off of, like, feasibility and total fucking suffering package. Because, oh god. RPGs, I kind of have to bump the price up because they're usually fucking long. Like, those are some long haul. I haven't made a Ko-Fi. I should make a Ko-Fi. I really should. Do I want to? I assume werewolf. I know Evil West has werewolves, but yeah. I do hate spiders. I have arachnophobia. I do have arachnophobia. I am not a fan of the spiders. The 8 most ambitious FPS games of all time ranked. Oh boy. Here we go. Hold on, this is Game Rant. Infamously dog shit site. Apparently this is brand new. Well, 3 days ago. So, the 8 most ambitious FPS games of all time. Any art form comes some level of ambition, and when it comes to video games, there are some pretty crazy developers who are willing to push the boundaries of the medium and go above and beyond. First-person shooters, we have a whole host of different experiences, from epic campaigns to PvP arenas, but amongst them all lie a few that break the mold just a bit more and have cemented themselves as real genre icons. We don't know. I don't know. Dimitri will find out. Well, it's true that there are some games out there like No Man's Sky that are first-person unbelievably ambitious. The main focus here is on the open-world side of things. Oh, talking about No Man's Sky. Rather than pure FPS mechanics and ideas. Looking back, it is nice to see how big of an impact a lot of these games have had on the genre, paving the way for many others to find their own success and triumphs. Doom. Okay, to be fair, that's a kind of a give me. That's a gimme. There's a reason that the FPS genre is called Doom clones to begin with, right? So, okay, fair. Turn first-person games into fast-paced action simulators way ahead of the curve. Yeah, again, it created the genre. It literally created the genre. Doom may not be overly ambitious by today's standards, but that hardly makes its achievements any less remarkable. Id Software transformed the ideas established by previous first-person games into something dramatically more sophisticated, combining fast movement, vertical level design, multiplayer, and atmospheric storytelling into a package that felt years ahead of its competition. I put Wolfenstein 3D in there. I mean, yeah, but you gotta understand the capabilities that Doom had to take it from... Because Wolfenstein 3D is very much a spreadsheet. Like, let's be honest with how Wolfenstein 3D actually is. Doom took that way above and beyond. You know what I mean? If you see Wolfenstein 3D, and especially its level design versus Doom and its level design, like, pretty fucking substantial difference. So I'd say while Wolfenstein was kind of the father of the view and everything, I wouldn't put it as like the codifier of the genre. Yep. Half-Life should be in this. Makes Doom particularly ambitious is how much it accomplished with so little. Its pseudo-3D technology created convincing environments on hardware with severe limitations, while its level editor and WAD system gave you the tools to create your own experiences, setting up the FPS genre for the next 3 decades, and doing so all on its own. Yep, so Quake's the next one. Rebuilt FPS technology around 3D environments, introduced a level of multiplayer polish rarely seen before. That's all you're giving Quake? Okay. Quake represented a dramatic technological leap beyond Doom. The devs abandoned the sector-based approach of their previous games and created fully polygonal, three-dimensional environments that let you look vertically and explore genuinely complex architecture and fight enemies from almost any direction. Yep, this is the actual first, like, true 3D FPS. The big ideas extended beyond technology, with Quake's multiplayer being a revolutionary move in the market that may very well have been the catalyst for the wave of PvP titles that followed. May very well? Of course it was. What the fuck? Internet gaming quickly exploded, and I would argue that there are very few other games out there with the same reach and impact on a single genre. I mean, Doom. I'd say Doom has more impact. Classic FPS games? That looks like fucking... What is that? Is that Wolfenstein? That's not a classic. What are you talking about? Oh my god, I almost have to. Hold on. I'm fucking morbidly curious. I'm not going to read through the article on that one, though, but I'm fucking curious on what do you mean by classic? However, it's just been that outdated now. 6. GoldenEye 007. Proof of what multiplayer FPS games could be. 4-player multiplayer became a phenomenon, redefined the console games of the era. Yeah, it looks like Wolfenstein 2009. That's why I said, is that Wolfenstein? Well, 007 was extraordinarily forward-thinking because it demonstrated that a console could deliver a convincing first-person shooter experience without simply copying PC games. Its campaign incorporated everything from stealth to difficulty-based mission variations and enemy behavior, made completing a level about far more than simply eliminating everything in sight, adding a tactical element that gave every moment so much more depth. I mean, that's fair. Greatest achievement. Whoop! I saw it. I scrolled down a little too much. Its greatest achievement, however, was the multiplayer, letting you and up to 3 other players enjoy split-screen deathmatches that turned the Nintendo 64 into a social gaming machine. As first-person shooting on consoles was brought to the forefront of the industry, and simple living room entertainment became a party night powerhouse. Next one was Fear. I saw it. This is the biggest misconception about Fear ever. Fear had great artificial intelligence, but Fear's artificial intelligence was actually really dumb. This is what made it so great. Okay. So to explain to you, Fear's artificial intelligence is actually a really, really simple system. What made it seem more intelligent was that they understood if they put in a fuck ton of voice call-outs. That is what made it feel even better, right? You needed level design to work with the limited artificial intelligence system you had that would allow them to set up and do the more complex, air quotes, systems and mechanics, like breaching and clearing an area or attacking from 2 flanks at once, doing pincer moves, stuff like that, right? Yes, this is where the AI designers and the level designers were literally bumping uglies, okay? And then the people doing all the VFX work and everything were sitting there jumping in for the trio. They're going for the threesome, baby. Because the AI is very simplistic, but it registers in part of its system to call out functional, like, geometry near the player. Okay? Yeah, the AI is very reactionary based. What makes this so cool is, like, if you're by a vending machine, you'll hear the clone trooper say, "He's over there!" Pause. Like, it's a very minute pause, but if you know the voice lines, you can hear the pauses in it. "He's over there!" Pause. "By the vending machine!" Oh my god, they know I'm by the vending machine. You know what I mean? Your mind fills in that thing. So if you actually go through the files, there's like, "By the vending machine," "In the vent," "By the door," "He's coming in the room." There's those little, like, small barks that are chipped off everywhere. There's like, "By the window," in the cubicle, near the stairs, on the stairs, the top of the stairs. They have that. That's the system they use. It makes the AI feel that much smarter because they're actually calling out what you're doing. Mm-hmm. 100%. That's game design. That's what you should do. Oh. No, yeah, like I said, Doom, I agree with you, I'll jump back a bit. Doom is 3D. I agree with you, but it's not true 3D. And what we mean by that is, true 3D is Quake. The weapons are actual 3D models, the enemies are actual 3D models, the environments are all three-dimensional models. It's not just, you know, wall texture. It's not just, here is a, I know calling it a JPEG sounds like an insult, but here is a JPEG, and it's moving between, cycling between these different JPEGs to move. You're not getting, you know, when you turn and are looking at something, the corpse turns with you because it only has that facing. You know what I mean? It's not true 3D, if that makes sense. Like, you can make Doom true 3D later. There's some cool conversion mods for it. There's a lot of fucking kick-ass mods for Doom, so, you know, it is what it is. Has the illusion of 3D. There you go. It is a three-dimensional space. You are moving X, Y, Z, but it is not true 3D. Quake was the first, like, true 3D game. Fear was determined to break from the norm in a different way, focusing heavily on making its firefights feel believable and unpredictable. Its enemies could communicate with one another, flank you, take cover, coordinate attacks, and react dynamically to the battlefield. Add in the horror-centric feel, and you wound up with a terrifying and mind-blowing FPS experience that still holds up all these years later. Mm-hmm. Yep. Whoa, almost. The technical achievement is absurd, and as a horror fan myself, it's not actually that absurd. When you know how to break down, when you break down the system, it is, the genius is in the stupidity of it. Right? The AI in Fear is so dumb that it's brilliant. Because it's not getting bogged down. If you take Fear's AI and you make really complex levels, it breaks apart very easily. When you know what Fear's AI is good at, and you design your levels specifically for what the AI can do, the AI is very impressive. And as a horror fan myself, I still can't get over how well the game plays and elicits those feelings of terror. Given how primitive the competition was at the time, today it acts as a perfect example of how technology can directly improve the moment-to-moment experience rather than simply making a game look better. I mean, yeah. Though Fear looked great at the time. I remember how many people doing the stress test of Fear because it looked that good. It wasn't a crisis or anything. It wasn't a crisis. That's funny. It wasn't Crisis or anything like that. But no, it still looked great. It looked great. Half-Life. Well, there you go. I'm surprised Half-Life isn't higher. The world is part of your story. Oh, look, they're using old. This is old. What version of Half-Life is this? This is not. Is this the day one demo? No. No, this would have been. God, there's that one channel that would know exactly what one it's from. This is not in Half-Life, right? This is a thing. Yeah, this is something else. Is that one for the alpha? Because you've got. Let's see. You've got Uplink, Alpha, the day one demo. There's a. What was the other one? I can't remember the other one. Yeah, no, they had a bunch of. Half-Life had a lot of them. Like, there was a really cool, like, one that they sent out to, like, review magazines and everything. Pretty neat. That's not Halo. This is modding. This is modded. See? This is still Half-Life. This is modded. It's still Half-Life. This is all Half-Life. An FPS storytelling masterclass. If we want to look at the narrative side of the FPS world, then Half-Life was probably the first major game to demonstrate how ambitious the genre storytelling could become. Rather than separating gameplay from exposition through conventional cutscenes, Valve kept Gordon Freeman inside the world throughout the entire campaign, allowing events to unfold around you in real time in much more intimate manner. Okay, good. That ambition extended into the mechanical side of things, with enemy AI and environmental interactions playing big roles in creating this iconic reactive feel that so many people have come to love. The expectations surrounding FPS stories were changed forever, and while we may never see a third installment, the impact the original had is truly immeasurable. Honestly, you better do the second one as well. Like, people undersell how big of a deal the Source engine was. Like, holy shit. Just like genuine actual voice acting, voice lip syncing for different languages and stuff. Already, that alone is crazy. People undersell Half-Life 2's contribution way too much. Which drives me nuts. Because, oh my god, that was like the biggest... That was the biggest thing. The fucking jokes, because this was back in the days when E3 was like for actual gamers. And everything, right? Now E3's dead. But you know what I mean? This was back when it was for actual gaming people. And when the words, like, not representative of final product wasn't a, like, oh, we can make it look real good in our marketing. Tee-hee-hee. It says not representative. Tee-hee-hee. No, not representative back then was the game's going to look better. We're showing you the guts. We're showing you the duct tape and barbed wire. Sorry, the duct tape and chicken wire approach right now. What do we think number 3 is going to be? We're getting down to the wire here. So what was more ambitious than Half-Life? More ambitious than Half-Life. I have a bad feeling Halo's going to be on here. I'm like, is Halo really that much more ambitious? Like, it's a great game. I love Halo Combat Evolved, but more ambitious? Maybe Wolfenstein 3D will be higher because it was like the pioneer, the true, like, Doom was the codifier, right? But it wasn't the originator. Stalker, Shadow Chernobyl. Okay. I wasn't expecting it, but you know what? I agree with that because of the A-Life system. I agree. I agree with this. The A-Life system was stupidly ambitious. Combined FPS combat with RPG and survival systems. That's not why I would say it's ambitious. Responsive world that operated outside of your actions. The A-Life system. Yeah, I would say that was ambitious. Long before the modern sequel made waves, Stalker Shadow Chernobyl gifted us with a believable post-apocalyptic ecosystem that felt far more compelling and engaging than a conventional FPS campaign. The zone was populated by a host of hostile entities and anomalies of all shapes and sizes. Regardless of what you did or didn't do, the world would exist and live around you. Beyond the environmental design, a lot of survival-like mechanics lent the game an almost strategic feel, encouraging you to think smartly about items and to choose engagements wisely at all times. The end result was technically rough in places, but the vision of an FPS world that felt like it existed independently of the player was extraordinary. Yeah, I don't agree with this whole post-apocalyptic. I guess they emphasize post-apocalyptic ecosystem because you're in the zone. But yeah, the world outside the zone is just fine. The zone's a hellhole, though. But, you know, that's why the Ukrainian military is trying to keep people from being in the zone to begin with. That and the artifacts that are in there. Alright, more ambitious than Stalker and Half-Life. Arma 3. Really? You're not going to do Arma 2 or anything? Like, original Arma I can understand because the systems and things weren't in place. But you're not going to do Arma 2? Which was the gold standard, especially for, like, modding massive scale warfare. Simulates military warfare on a massive scale, extraordinary control over combat and military operations. Arma 3 stretches the definition of what an FPS game can actually be. You are given free reign over enormous maps filled to the brim with vehicles and outposts and can effectively recreate war scenarios, participate in military operations on a more realistic level than anything else in the genre. Add to that the modding capabilities and community support, and then include custom missions, factions, and gameplay experiences, all within a multiplayer environment that only seems to get better the more players are online. Arma 3 isn't designed around making shooting as immediately accessible as possible. It's about bringing the scale and explosiveness of conflict to the palm of your hand. Why not pick Arma 2, then? Arma 3 is just building off of what Arma 2 did. Arma 2 was where they, like, really let their ambitions go. I don't know. I think this one's kind of a dud. I would have picked Arma 2. PlanetSide 2? Now you're taking the piss. More ambitious? PlanetSide 2 that dumbed everything down and stripped out everything from PlanetSide 1? Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck right the hell. I knew this. I knew one of these was going to be fucking painful. This is the painful one. Enormous battles in a single match. Infantry, vehicles, and aircraft into one experience. PlanetSide 2 is such a dumbed down version of PlanetSide 1, it hurts. I can't believe it. Oh my god, you are full of shit. You are so full of shit. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Side 2 represents the pinnacle of what it means to participate in an organic real-time war. No, it doesn't. You have Arma 3 above it, and I'd say Arma 3 does that better than PlanetSide 2. You should have picked PlanetSide 1. The issue is that PlanetSide 2 is free to play. That's it. Yeah. You should have picked PlanetSide 1. This is stupid. This is so stupid. War unfolding before your eyes. You literally could say the exact same thing here. You could literally say the exact same thing. Yeah, this is terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. You should have put PlanetSide 1. And again, like I said, this should have been Arma 2. Because that's where they really like, what if we crank up everything to fucking 50? No, I agree with Stalker. Like I said, I was trying to figure out what would be more ambitious than Half-Life. I agree with Stalker, though. Because of the A-Life system. That was pretty fucking ballsy. But then these two, especially PlanetSide 2 being the dumbed down, casual retard version of PlanetSide. Oh. Oh, absolutely brutal. Absolutely fucking brutal. Alright, now this was 10 classic FPS games. I'm not going to read the article itself, unless there's one that so blows my mind I need to understand their justification for it, or what they try to shit out as their justification. But yeah, that was fucking terrible. Classic FPS. All the LucasArts FPS game. Alright, fuck you immediately. That you're just lumping them all in immediately. That's stupid. All right, this I would agree. The Soldier of Fortune games are fun. Like, look at this. This was Soldier of Fortune blowing people's limbs off, unheard of. Yeah, I thought it was Wolfenstein because of the stuff, but no, that's Singularity. That's 100% Singularity. What? An underrated FPS game that deserves way more love. Really? What the fuck? Okay, Singularity. Classic FPS, though? I mean, I get I'm old, but still. These are now considered classics? Fuck no. Fear 3. Fuck off with Fear 3. Fear 3 was dog shit. Fear 3 was terrible. Fear 2, it's okay. Fear 2 is mediocre. Like, Fear 2 is the 5 out of 10. Unfortunately, such, we are old, I know. Fear 2 is a 5 out of 10. Fear 3 is dog shit. And of course they don't have the first game's legacy. Because Fear 2, again, it's so bland. The most memorable part was the school part, and that's a very small section of Fear 2. The rest of it's just generic military shooter. You got a point that people get nostalgic of early 2010 games. I know. Painkiller would be fun. Fear 3, like, was just bad. Fear 3 was terrible. Fear 3 was a mistake against everything. What? That was it? Ten classic FPS games you must play. You're joking. Wow, this guy's dog shit. Fire Mark Summit. I mean, you won't. Or Summit, whatever. Fire this fucker. You won't because you're all this dog shit. Holy fuck. I should have known that when they threw all this stuff in together. I should have fucking known. I should have fucking known. That's not 10. Just drop this from it, you moron. Yeah. Yeah, this is somebody, he's just writing an article just so he keeps his job, basically. That's all this was. Primary list editor. Yeah. Mark, you're dog shit at your job. You're one of the many reasons why Game Rant is infamous as one of the worst publications ever devised. Ugh. Blech. Just gross. Just gross all the way around. Alright, chat, give me a second. I'm gonna go grab myself some FUD. Some FUD. F-U-D. FUD. I'll be right back. They shouldn't be taking that serious because I'm a journalist too, you know? Yeah. Yeah. BRB un momento. Oh, I'm back, guys. I'm also now incredibly fucking pissed off. As it turns out, people decide making decisions on their own again. Not telling me. They just decide it unilaterally. So. Ugh. Oh, I fucking hate that shit so much. God, and it's so... What pisses me off the most about it is when they say, oh, we did because you're so fucking pathetic. Who told you to fucking do it, then? Who the fuck told you to do it? I didn't say shit. I thought this was the standard. That's the way it was from the very fucking beginning. Oh, no, it's per stop. Not per day, like your sister told you when you took the route to begin with. Fucking piece of shit. Oh my god. No, I'm just... Nope, now I'm just fucking annoyed now. Sorry, guys. Money fights. They always suck. Yeah. God. Yeah, I'm all just bent out of shape. Oh, I'm all tilted. Now, I didn't even get anything good. I just threw some toast in because it'd be quick. Well, quicker. Yeah. I don't know what to do, guys. I'm just... I'm just now bent out of shape. so I don't know what to do. Yeah, I don't know, guys. What do we want to do? I just need something to try to get my mind off of things. Now I'm really fucking pissed off. So. Maybe a quick game for sure. Maybe. What's... So I don't have to... Like, I can just focus on it. Oh, fuck it. We're gonna do Planet Crafters. We're gonna open up Planet Crafters. So we can just kind of chill, vibe. Oh, sorry, this is the wrong save file. This is my other save file. Sorry. Sorry, let's get to the one that's for the stream. It's like, man, that's a lot of tech that I shouldn't have. And like, yeah. That's because that was the wrong one. Okay. What are we at? What are we doing? What do we need? Yeah, we're starting to get water. Take that out. I throw that in there. It's been so long since we did Planet Crafters, I don't even remember what we're up to now. I know we got our rockets going to boost our stuff. We've got biomass started. What unlocks do we need? Machine optimizer, interior. So probably want to focus oxygen. I can put, I think I can put tier 4 heaters outside. And we'll get rid of all these heaters. I think we can put a tier 4 outside, and we'll go from there. We got this stuff cooking away. What's our power at? 299 available. Once you get the fusion reactors, that's when stuff goes wild, but I think that's quite a ways away, right? There's our teleporters. Oh, here it is. Yeah, so we definitely want to get our heat generation up. These things skyrocket your power output potential. So, oxygen. That's a plant multiplier. We don't have an oxygen multiplier yet. Fuck. Alright, well, that's fine. Let's just build more oxygen stuff. Two soups, 2 fert. Do I have mapping info rockets already? I couldn't tell if we had mapping rocket or not. Hold on. Yep, alright. Rocket engine, 2 osmium, super alloy rod. I don't know if we physically can or not. We can get super alloys, I know that. We got some osmium. Not looking good on the supers. Oh, here we go. Ah, yeah, not looking good on the supers. We need supers. Alright, we put down a thing, though, right? Yeah, here it is. So, potentially super alloys up there. I mean, not as in, like, potential. We know they exist up there, but I don't know if it's mineable up there. Oh, fuck. I don't have a mapping. I don't have the mapping system on me. Right. Should be over there, though, right? Yeah. What? I didn't... What? I didn't build this up in the sky. Okay. Thinking some things haven't generated properly. What? That's also low. That's also raised up in the air, too. More supers. Holy shit, I thought there was something else. I don't think supers spawn on this. Maybe. I'm wrong. Alright. Is mapping info worth it right now compared to flower spreading? shekels, 4 supers, 4 fert. I don't think we have any fertilizer, right? I think that's what I'm trying to build now. We need sulfurs. Not ready. Okay. And we've got thing over here. So I need 2 more water bottles. And then 6 eggplants. Do I have a lake filter? I do. Okay. We only need 2 of those, but I have extra water that I can drink. So really, I'm just waiting on all this stuff to prep and get ready. Okay. Let's check for our algaes. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, wait, I didn't need the other water bottles, did I? No, I didn't. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, welcome back, Anti-Boy Scout. Welcome. I don't know, I'm just... I haven't... you know. No, you missed it. There was a fucking argument about money and work and everything. And people just making their own decisions without saying anything to me. Like, they had it in their own head that they needed to do this, and then don't say shit to the person who then they talk shit about. You're so fucking pathetic, I covered for you. Nobody fucking asked you to do that, did they? Who the fuck asked you to do that? Who the fuck said you needed to cover for me? No one said shit. You decided that on your own, and now you want to throw it in my fucking face? Oh my god. The worst part is not just coworkers. The worst part is the fucking family that's now saying this shit. You came up with your own fucking head that, oh, I'll just cover for him. Then you want to throw it in my fucking face when you didn't tell me shit? When the original agreement was to pay per day, not per fucking stop? That's what I agreed to when my sister had the fucking route, not you? Oh my god, I'm getting fucking pissed off again. Like, the fucking audacity. That's just... Oh. And of course, don't say shit when I say, who the fuck asked you to do it? They don't say shit. They just tuck their fucking head down. They go in their fucking room. They don't say shit. Like, who the fuck asked you to do that? Who the fuck asked you to cover for me? This is the way it's been from day fucking one. And now I learn about that I'm supposed to go to the other stop too on the second day? Now I learn about it. When we've been doing it for how many fucking months? Oh my god. I'm just all bent out of shape now. Seeds in there now. I really should take down the grass spreaders. They're not really doing much for us now. I guess every little bit helps until we get the multiplier rockets. Okay. I need to save circuit boards for later. Do we have... We do. I need methane. And zeolite. I don't think we have any zeolite. Nope, we don't. But then, once we have that, we can get a ton of circuit boards. Yeah, Chad, I'm just... I'm just gonna call it today. Yeah. It's our normal stop time anyway, so it's fine. Try and get more chapters done. We're near the end of it. Near the end of the book. We can get it published. That'll be nice. I don't think the cover's been started in the slightest. So I'll probably have to find someone to do the cover. Maybe I'll hang out with you guys later in the Discord or something. But... Remember, chat, for Saturday, we'll watch Howl. So hopefully I'll see you guys there for that. In the meantime, hope you guys take care. Have a fantastic day. Stay safe and healthy. Get fit, get ripped. And I will see you on Monday. Alright? Yeah. Maybe over the weekend we'll set up the Ko-Fi as well. Anti-Boy Scout or anyone that knows how Ko-Fi works, if you want to help through that, go ahead. It'd be appreciated. Yeah, just reach out on the Discord. Or you can ping in the general chat or something. Doesn't matter. Yep. Take care, everybody.